How to use our ego mind, or little human as I call it, to manifest wealth and abundance. That is the topic for today. And the reason for it is because our poor ego mind, it gets a really bad rap. So often I hear, oh, the bastard of a ego, or I want to kill my ego. No, your ego mind identity, the lower consciousness, or little human as I call it, is absolutely essential when it comes to growing your spiritual business, creating consciously whatever it might be, more love, more happiness, more wealth, and manifesting all the success and happiness that you desire. So please don't try to get rid of it, work with it. And that is what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to clear a name of our ego mind identity and share with you 5 ways, there are definitely more, how you can use your ego mind to support the manifestations of that which you desire and to support the growth of your spiritual business. All right? Before we go into it, just in case we don't know each other, hello. My name is Lenka Lutonska. I'm an author of Energetic Selling and Marketing, creator of Business Energetics, and a Limitless Millionaire mentor for spiritual entrepreneurs and changemakers like you. Happy to have you here. And please, if you are benefiting from these videos, can you do me a big favor and subscribe if you're not subscribed yet? Because it will help me to put this work in front of many more incredible people like you. That's my mission, that's my purpose, so I thank you in advance. Okay? So let's get to it. But first, a little definitions, if you like, or reminder of, or refining the way you think about manifesting and creating. So we know that we have got 2 aspects of ourselves: lower consciousness or ego mind identity, or some people call it matrix, some people call it 3D, programmed mind, logical mind. This includes our subconscious. I call it our little human. This is a reactive aspect of ourselves. It's not meant to create, it's reactive. Then we have our higher mind, or if you like, our soul, or if you like, I call it our divine self. You can call it many names, or even some people call it just intuition or that higher power. It's this aspect of our personality. It's this aspect of ourselves that creates idea. Lower mind, physical mind, only perceives the ideas. In other words, if your desire is to create, to manifest something, it's your soul, your higher mind that desires it. It's that aspect of yourself that created that idea. You physically only perceive that idea. And therefore, the ego mind, the lower consciousness, if you like, it's designed to be almost like a servant to the higher mind, so you can bring those desires into your physical reality. But the opposite often happens. Many people get caught up, and we all do at some point. I did at some point, of course, as well. We get caught up in the ego mind identity, in that 3D, in the matrix, and instead of being a servant supporting higher mind to create, we start creating from it. So this happens when, for instance, I'll just give you a recent example. Last week, one of my dear clients said, Lenka, in the news there's lots of commotion now that there may be World War III and there may be nukes flying around. And I booked holidays somewhere with my daughter, and I don't know actually if to go or if to rather stay at home. Now, if this dear client, because of what she heard on the news, who knows what can happen, blah, 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 blah. So I'm scared. So she will tell, I'm going to cancel my holidays. I'm going to be safe. I'm going to stay at home. Can you see how this is, yes, it's reactive, and yes, it's creating from ego mind identity. It's really, how is it helping? How is it helping to my client? How would it be helping to, if you like, world peace? To react to fear and to act from it? It doesn't. It really doesn't. So that's just one example how we can get sometimes caught up because we hear stuff on news, from friends, from authorities in our communities, and we start acting from fear or from what we see. Another example is, practical example, when you, let's say, you look at your circumstance, let's say you look at your bank account or you look at your sales, and you see, oh, my sales or money is lower than it was, let's say, a week ago. And you start creating a self-talk and you start thinking, oh, maybe I should save on this or that. Or maybe I should not put out those prices. Maybe I need to lower down prices so people actually buy. That is creating from the lower consciousness, ego mind identity. And it's never, ever useful. However, doesn't mean that the ego mind is not useful at all. Of course not, it's essential. So here are, for today, just 5 ways how you can actually use your little human to serve the higher mind, and therefore your desires, your manifestations, and the world so much more powerfully. Okay? So number 1, it's your ego mind, your little human, that can be clear on desires. Sometimes I hear that, oh, I'm not sure if this, what I want, is my ego mind desire or is like my soul desires. And I'm here to tell you, please use your ego mind to decide what to claim as your desires. Because if your ego mind is not sold, it could be the most wonderful desire in the world, but if your ego mind is not sold on it, you will not manifest it, full stop. So I like not to really differentiate, is it my ego mind desire or is it my divine desire? Because all of it is divine. All of it is divine. If it's authentic, all of it is divine. And by nature, if it's a really divine and authentic desire, it should satisfy your ego mind desires as well. Therefore, turn this to your advantage and ask yourself, ask your ego mind, little human, what would you truly desire here? This way or this way? What do I desire most? What expands my heart most? And own it. Because as soon as your ego mind is truly sold on the idea, you're gathering so much more resources and energy, so much more body of the energy to actually manifest it, bring it into your reality, to actually sometimes do what it takes to materialize that desire. Yes, it's your ego mind that has the function of deciding, what it truly desires. Use it. Use it, and make sure your ego mind is 100% sold on the desires of your higher self. All right? You want both of them, your divine self and ego mind self, work in the same direction, so to speak. Second function, it's your ego mind or little human that sets standards. Use it, because setting standards is so much healthier than setting goals. I'll give you an example from my past. So for instance, when I wanted to become more fit, more healthy, more vital, at some point I decided that I'm going to be a woman who walks 12,500 steps every single day. Now I came to that standard purely egoistically, because I realized that I used to walk up till that point, roughly speaking, 3,000 on average, 3,000 steps a day, which is very little. So Google told me that I was leading a sedentary lifestyle and I didn't like it. Of course, I wanted to do it for my health as well. I wanted to move, but I was wondering, okay, what is going to be my standard? Who do I choose to be? And yes, I Googled, and it said that people who walk more than 12,500 steps a day are highly active people. And I told myself, well, I want to be a highly active woman. I decide I am a highly active woman. So my standard is that I'll walk every single day 12,500 steps. And I did. For solid 6 months, I was walking every day because I set the standard. It wasn't I must, I want to, I need to, anything like that. I am a highly active woman who walks 12,500 steps a day or more. It was purely coming from my ego mind, as these things often do. But do you know how much it supported me? Okay, after 6 months or 6 months and a little bit, I decided I'm going to loosen this standard a little bit because I was getting too rigid, but it definitely helped me to develop some incredibly powerful and healthy habits. So I loosened a little bit that standard, etc., made it more free, etc. However, the principle stays. It's your ego mind identity that sets the standards. And when you set the standard, it's identity based. It's very healthy. Also, when I was growing my business, and I'm still growing my business, initially I decided that I am that woman who owns a £250,000 business. Then I decided I am a £500,000 a year change maker. I am a 7-figure a year change maker, etc., etc. That's standard, that's identity. And that's very much ego-based. Is it limiting still? Well, actually yes, because our divine self is limitless, absolutely limitless. But is it helpful? Blinking hell, yes, because even though we decided, let's say, I'm a millionaire change maker, you're so much more than that, no matter what. You're so much more than that. But if you're not there yet in physical reality, and if that desire truly expands your heart, if your ego mind is completely sold on this as well, then it's your higher level identity via which you will be pulling a lot more creative energy, a lot more than is available to you. It carries the frequency of more of a real you, not full you, but more of a real you. So borrow that identity. Use that ego mind to let you know what is that standard you want to set. Who do you want to be? What is that identity you want to borrow so you can manifest more, you can become more, you can do more. That's what your ego mind does. So use it. Does it make sense? Yes? Number 3, your ego mind, your little human, directs attention. And I don't think I need to go into much more details than that, but who you would be without directing your attention. It's your ego mind, your little human, that decides, am I going to direct attention? Am I going to into my imagination space and start creating from there? That can be incredibly healthy. Am I going to hold attention on what I choose, on that vision? Even when things get tough, that can be very healthy. Am I going to practice my focus and visualization in a healthy way? That can be very healthy. And yet your ego mind does that, you see? Your ego mind directs the attention to it. So use it to direct attention where it needs to go for you to manifest a lot more wealth and abundance and everything else you desire. Okay? Number 4, it's actually your ego mind, your little human, that identifies self-limitation and overcomes self-limitation. Isn't that crazy? Because it's your ego mind that can identify, this is working, this is not. This is supporting me, this is not. This doesn't feel good, so there must be some unhealthy self-talk, unhealthy assumption, unhealthy aspect of me, so to speak, that I got lost into. So it's ego mind identity that can identify limitation and overcome limitation. It's your ego mind identity that you can use to de-identify from the limitation and identify with your divine self. It's your ego mind that does that. So again, it's not your enemy. Ego mind is servant of your higher mind. It's your friend, ally. So I see the ego mind, if we use it right, as this self-repairing and enhancing organism. And it's still us, it's you. And you can use the power of your ego mind to accept more and more of your divine self, energy of more and more of real you. And you need ego mind to do that. And lastly, number 5, and there is definitely more, it's your ego mind that can practice what I call divine staying power, or if you like, persistence. Because we know that if you have a big vision, if you set big standards, if you're here to do big things, make big difference, and not just comfortable stuff, it will push you out of your comfort zone. It will push you into sometimes unease, okay, and discomfort, and things may not be exactly as you would like immediately. It just doesn't work like that. Sometimes you focus with your ego mind identity on the divine self, on your vision, and you really let it filter through all of you into your choices, etc. And guess what? What you're seeing is still old. This is where you need the divine staying power, and only your ego mind can do that. Where you tell yourself, I see what's happening here. It's okay. I'm going to trust this, my divine self, my vision, a lot more than my physical senses, and I'm staying here. And I'm staying here. So people call this, if you like, persistence. Persistence. I call it divine staying power, but essentially it's the ability to focus on that which you choose over the circumstances and telling yourself, it's not working. It's very much needed. Very, very much needed. I really believe that that's one of the major differentiators of success between all the talented women, but one will have a more staying power than the other, therefore more refined focusing ability of ego mind, therefore faster and better results and more manifestations and more wealth and more abundance and more impact, etc., etc. Okay? So ego mind clarifies desires, use it. Ego mind sets standards, use it. Ego mind directs attention, use it. Ego mind identifies self-limitations and overcomes these self-limitations, use it. Ego mind is persistent, use it. Use these functions, and there are more, to support your higher mind creativity and bring those desires that you desire into your reality and more. So much love your way. Until next time, bye-bye.